guys, it is clear and obvious what we're going to be talking about today. Now, keep in mind, I did not make an Atlanta Falcons video for the first 2 weeks of the NFL season. One reason why, the first game, we lost to Tampa Bay Buccaneers due to Younghoe Koo missing a couple of field goals and a game-winning field goals to beat the Buccaneers. The second game, we played on, what was it? I think it was Sunday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings last week, and the defense looked the defense looked really good, getting 2 sacks from the rookie pass rushers that we drafted in the first round. This week is the perfect week to make a Falcons video because now we've seen 2 weeks of footage and we've seen 2 weeks of study, and I don't really know what to say because the Falcons lost and they didn't even score a point. The Falcons lost, and I believe that this is the first I think the Falcons are the first team this year, or probably even the second team this year, to get shut out. And it's not even the fact that we got shut out. We got shut out by the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers, a team that was projected to be the third best team in this division, just shut us out. 30-0. And the minute we released Younghoe Koo, we have our kicker who was making field goals last week. He missed 2 field goals today. Michael Penix Jr. I don't know what it is about the offensive coordinator or the coaching call, but Michael Penix Jr. does have the potential. He just needs to be in the right system. And the offensive coordinator that we have right now just does not seem to be it. So there needs to be something that needs to be done when it comes to this offense, because Bijan will always be Bijan. Bijan will always get his yardage. But it needs to come down to the passing play, and Michael Penix Jr. ended up throwing 2 interceptions, and then Kirk Cousins, the guy that we're paying $140 million to sit on the bench, had to come into the game, and even he couldn't really do anything until we basically just put in the backups towards the end of the game. But I still look at that score, 30-0. Keep in mind, at the beginning of the game, the Falcons were minus 4.5 on the spread, and they lost 30-0. So if you took Carolina minus whatever, you made some good money. I want to say that. The defensive side, I think the defense got over cocky. The defensive side is probably, all right, we performed very, very well. We got a couple picks last week. We got a couple sacks last week. And then you give up 30 points to the Panthers, and the Panthers are still trying to figure out their offense in the general sense. That's just unacceptable. And the thing is, I look at the Falcons, and I'm a very objective Falcons fan. I look at the Falcons differently than most people do. Because a lot of people were hyping up the Falcons last week, hey, like the defense looking pretty good. And I looked at it and I was like, yeah, but this is 1 week. And funny enough, I was ready to make a Falcons video last week saying like, oh, the Falcons look really good. I'm thankful I didn't, because now I can actually look at this thing more objectively. And this team still has a lot of things to figure out. Is Raheem Morris the coach that we really need? Is Terry Fontenot the GM that we really need? I don't really know, because let's not forget, even though we did trade up to get 2 pass rushers in the first round, we also decided to pay Kirk Cousins $140 million to sit on the bench. And I don't really know if they made a decision or not on who's going to be a starting quarterback heading into next week. But I damn sure tell you we need to put up some points next week, because if that isn't it, the offensive coordinator needs to be gone, because it just doesn't seem to be working well. Our defense seems to be performing better and getting better, but it's the offensive side that really needs to do good, and Michael Penix Jr. just needs to perform well. Because in the first game against the Buccaneers, he put up over 200 yards. Since then, he's kind of been regressing, and throwing 2 interceptions today is just not a good look for a quarterback that's supposed to be our future. We took him with the 8th pick in the first round in 2024. That's what we picked him to be a future quarterback for us. And if he continues to play like this, I'd rather have Kirk Cousins on this team. And Kirk Cousins, towards the end of the last season, wasn't that much better. And keep in mind, there's nothing we can do about this draft. There's nothing we can do. We don't have our first round pick next year. So if the Falcons end up being one of the worst teams when it comes to the season, that is their own fault, because they're the ones that decided to go all in and try and draft and get pass rushers for the last year of probably what could be their coaching career and GM career. So they were desperate in that situation, and being desperate gets you nowhere. So when it comes to this whole game with the Falcons against the Panthers. Congratulations to the Panthers. Congratulations to Bryce Young, Chuba Hubbard, Tutori McMillan. You guys got the win, and you guys looked impressive against a team that got overconfident after a very good win last week against the Minnesota Vikings, who I just want to add had J.J. McCarthy as a quarterback. J.J. McCarthy, who was in his second game of the season. It's not like they got the 2 sacks against the Buccaneers, but still, in a general sense, the Falcons just need to do something to improve because right now both of my football teams are not really doing good. And I think it's due down to just the way they're calling the offense and the way the coaching is in general. And I'm going to say this right now: if this does not figure out, Raheem Morris may not be a Falcons head coach for much longer because he seems to know what to say when it comes to press conferences, but when it comes out on the field, he just can't seem to coach right, and it shows because this, like I said again this week, the Falcons got shut out 30-0 by the Carolina Panthers.